Welcome back to Tommy's Trading Post. This is episode 7 of our series of Building Tommy's Trading Post. And in this episode, I'm going to dive into the February numbers around what cards I sold, how many I sold, the fun financial data that I always go through. I'm also going to share some of my favorite cards that I sold this past month. One was a complete set, and I'll dive into kind of why they're some of my favorite cards. I'm going to give an update around the Facebook group that I created. I believe I mentioned it previously, but I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the details. And then last but not least, I'm going to dive into a card that I'm actually looking for my personal collection. It's an upgraded card. I have one already, but I want a different one, and I want to put it out there and see if anyone knows where I can find one. Let's get into it. So diving into February numbers specifically here, you can see that we had close to 1,150 cards sold, which is a pretty good month. You can see that gross sales were close to 4K, maybe 3,700. And diving into the fees and all of the stuff that goes out of pocket, you can see eBay fees. This is kind of the promotions. This is just selling fees in general. My store cost, etc., was around 600. We had shipping labels around 700, which some of this is offset, obviously, in the gross sales from people paying shipping. We had refunds around $315. This is a little expensive for refunds. I believe I had a lot of bulkier orders that I refunded shipping on. Shipping materials, we didn't spend too much, was around $134. We didn't buy anything that we're keeping for selling cards or collecting or whatever. And then bought cards was around $1,100. And the one thing with this is I believe I bought two kind of purchases for cards. One was, I think, like $60 for some 2018 Galaxy cards. And then the rest of that, so around $1,000, was for a very large lot of 1977 cards and stickers. I think it was like 945 total. A lot of that being stickers and Series 1s, but it was throughout the entire, 5 series stickers and cards. So for an overall net, we had 969, so close to 1,000. I believe that's our best overall net month that we've had. The one reason being I didn't spend too much on cards. I mean, obviously I spent 1,100, but we didn't spend too much in terms of having multiple orders. And those stickers are something that a lot of people are looking for. I feel like I have good pricing, so they kind of go out the door really quick. So with the 1,100, I don't feel like that was a ton of money spent. And the net I feel really good about. Diving into the financial report, just looking at it compared to other months. So you can see it was a little bit of a dip in gross sales. January obviously being longer, but I also sold more cards. The beginning of February was a little bit down. I was on vacation, so that also plays into this. I had a couple days where I wasn't selling much when I had time away on my store, but then throughout the month it kind of really picked back up. This number was actually pretty surprising. You can see the overall net. I believe that is our best to date. It is by a long shot. Even January, we had more in terms of overall net. Part of that being obviously the amount of cards I bought. So bought cards were close to 1,600 versus 1,100 in February. And then getting into the refunds that I wanted to mention, as you can see, this is one of our highest refund months, and it's been creeping up. Part of that is, again, a large shipping refunds that I do when I cap my shipping. I had a lot of large orders, which makes that refund number definitely higher. And I believe I had like a few cancellations in there as well that kind of added to the total. So not something I feel terrible about. It's something I'm going to track moving forward. Diving into just last month sold data for cards. As you can see, 1977 is a big portion. The one thing, again, to highlight, or that I at least keep track of, is the spread of which ones are selling. As you can see, other than the Series 3, we're above 80 for all of them, which I feel really good about. I don't like when it's, 300 Series 1s and then, a couple here and there. The 2023s outtook the 1980s. Normally it's 1980s, but 23s took it. Spread across a lot. The one thing to note here is flagship inserts. So the comic covers, the Epic Clashes, the lightsaber stylings sold a good amount. We sold some Kakawao, I think is how you say that, cards as well, and a lot of even just the 2023 Chrome inserts and Chrome Galaxy base, as you can see there. But Chrome inserts is something I don't sell a ton of that picked up, and then a bunch of Topps Finest. Some inserts, a little bit of base. But as you can see, the 1980 kind of split. 2022, I only really have Galaxies here. 83 was a lot down. And then 24, I actually got some 2024 Chrome Galaxy cards. And so I added more to the Galaxy base variation setting, or the U pick listing that I have. And those actually sold. One person bought a good amount. And then you can see the 90s, as usual, are not very high. So overall, I feel like a really good month. Again, the net was good. The bought cards were lower. Refunds were a little bit high. But for a shorter month and a month that I took a vacation on, I feel really good about. Next, we're going to dive into some of my favorite cards that we sold this past month to see why I like them and just the uniqueness of them as well. So diving in here, you can see the first one that we sold was the other 2021 Boba Prism Refractor that I had. This is Boba's Prize. I sold one to a guy that I follow, Star Wars Card Crazy, on Instagram. He was going to grade it. I don't know how that turned out. I never saw. But this one I also sold this past month for, I believe, the exact same amount, $40. I obviously listed a little higher, but talked to the guy and he was good with it. Just a really cool card in my opinion. I think it's a unique picture. It's obviously a Prism Refractor, and it's cool that it's from the 2021 Chrome Galaxy that a lot of people are looking for, very sought after. The next one I want to highlight is the complete set of the 2018 Star Wars Galaxy. So these aren't Chrome. This is a set that I didn't know too much about. I had bought a lot recently from a guy that I connected with on Facebook, who we have like a pretty good relationship now. He's not really a Star Wars guy, but he has cards every now and then. This is really interesting to me just due to the fact of how many of the artwork, how many cards have the same artwork as other Galaxy years. So there's some in here that you'll definitely recognize from different years in terms of the Chrome Galaxy that I thought was really interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought they were, more their own artwork. Trying to find one quickly that I can't. One being like this Darth Vader is part of the Card Fun art series set that I've recently sold. It's just something interesting to me that I didn't know was going on is, they're kind of reusing some of the artwork into different sets. As you can see, this was a 2025 Chrome Galaxy card that a lot of people looked at or looked for, and obviously this is in the 2018 Star Wars Galaxy set. This is the just base set. There's different parallels. There's blue, there's green, there's purple, I believe there's orange. But this was just a full base set, and I actually have one more. I just have not gotten it up yet, but I will. The next one follows suit onto that. So this is an interesting thing to me. I also think it's a great looking card. This is a 2018 Star Wars Galaxy, The Light of Padme. And I was shocked to see how many people are looking for this card. I think the artwork is beautiful. You have obviously the Naboo. You have obviously the Naboo scene, and then you have Padme up here. It is a blue parallel, which is just like the next kind of step up. It's nothing insane, but it's just interesting how many people want this. I sold another one, I think this month in March for like $30-something. So great artwork, but an interesting card. The next is getting into the Card Fun art series cards. These were cards I had a lot of trouble finding any information on them. I got them in a really big collection I bought last, I think it was October, that I've talked about before. I think the artwork on these is like the top artwork I've ever seen. It's my favorite, not just this set alone. There's different types of artwork, but this is a great one. But you can see it's just very unique and something we don't see for Star Wars a ton. But I sold a good amount of these really to one collector from what I remember. Just something you don't see a ton, and I think the artwork is great. I'm looking for a specific one for my personal collection because I think I'm blown away by the art on here. The next one is another one from that. This is the Memphis style. As you can see, very unique style of art on the card. There's a bunch of different types. I can't remember all the names. They're also super unique, but I thought these were really cool when I got them. I sold them again to one collector, and if you haven't heard of them, look them up. You won't find a ton on them, but you'll see some eBay listings on them, and I just think they're very unique and something you don't see a ton. And then the last one I want to dive into is this 2025 Star Wars Hyperspace. It is a Shin Auto. I think I mentioned how I found a Grail card for a collector of that uses me for cards every now and then. It was actually a Shin Auto Galactic Antiquities, I believe, out of 25. So I was able to buy that from somebody, and then I shipped that to her, and she shipped me a bunch of cards she didn't want anymore. And this was one of them. I do love Shin's auto here with the heart. I think it is a very unique auto, but just one that I wanted to highlight as it's a newer card. It's an autograph. It's Shin, which a lot of people like, and I thought it was just an interesting one that went really quickly, and I was happy to give it. I think I gave best offer on this. I don't remember the total, but yeah, those are the cards that I was interested by that I sold this past month that I thought were cool, especially the card art. The Card Fun Art Series cards. If you haven't seen them, check them out. And now we'll get into the Facebook group and kind of what I'm doing a little bit differently there. Now, diving a little bit into the Facebook group that I've created, it is the Trading Post Cantina. And the goal with this Facebook group is to be a lot more collector friendly, people who genuinely enjoy Star Wars cards. And the idea is not just like a buy, sell, trade, or to flip a bunch of stuff, or rip the newest series and post all the ones you don't want on there to sell. It's to really enjoy Star Wars cards, to show off your personal collection, to ask questions about cards, sets, or whatever the case may be, where you're looking for answers. And the one thing that I am adding to it that I originally didn't have is the idea that you can do kind of ISO or in search of posts. Where maybe you're looking for a specific card and you don't know where to find it, and maybe somebody in here either has it or knows somebody who does, and so you kind of connect and can potentially make a deal there. The idea is to be very collector friendly, be fun, and share our passion for Star Wars cards. There are questions to answer before you get accepted into the group, so it is a private group, mainly around Star Wars. I just want to make sure that people joining are actually into Star Wars cards. And not just buying the latest series again, ripping them, trying to flip them, or trying to just dump a bunch of different things that they're trying to sell. So if you do want to join, it is the Trading Post Cantina. I'll probably have a link in the description. I'll show a little piece or clip of it in the video as well. But you will have to answer a few questions, and then normally I'll accept you. You'll see some rules and things like that, but it's just getting going. I think I have like 8 people in there. I don't believe anyone else has posted. It's mainly just me so far. So it's in its early stages, but it is something that I am looking to, grow, not just for me, but for collectors, just a safe space to, collect and have fun and again, share a passion for Star Wars cards. The last thing that I want to dive into is just a card that I'm searching for, kind of related to the ISO type of posts. And it is a 2024 Chrome Galaxy Obi-Wan Mojo refractor. So right now I currently have the Prism, as you can sort of see here. It is obviously number 275. I am an Obi-Wan collector at heart. I've shown off my collection a decent amount. A lot of it is, the Clone Wars or Obi-Wan related. This is the one card that I have in a Prism that I really want to get in a Mojo. I collect cards out of 50 majority of the time to keep my collection small. So it is one that I am looking for. If anyone has one that they're looking to sell or knows anybody that has one, I am definitely open to talking. Again, it's the 2024 Obi-Wan Galaxy card. So sorry, my mind blanked there, but it is 2024 Topps Chrome Galaxy Obi-Wan. It's number 13. But if they have it out of 50, that is something I'm looking for. But other than that, I hope you guys are having a great start to March here. Again, I appreciate all of the support around Tommy's Trading Post, whether you just watch the videos, you've bought cards before, or you just are here for the first time, welcome. But yeah, it was a great February. I hope you guys are having a great March, and we'll see you in the next episode. See ya.